Abdullahi warned the government would not hesitate to demolish illegal structures obstructing free flow of movement within the pipeline's right of way. The corps also advised Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Town in Amuwo or Dolphin local government area of Lagos State. The corps are not connected with the pipeline while assuring that the situation is under control. The number of casualties were yet to be confirmed, but there are reports that over 15 persons are feared dead. In the meantime, some school children were seen being evacuated from a school close to the area of the explosion. Local government officials have narrated what transpired while questioning the siting of a school close to a pipeline.
Thought initially was a big gas explosion, so I went to the balcony to check my neighbors around 3rd Avenue, and they said nothing. Then I looked at the social media immediately, one of the WhatsApp groups, and my PA, Ibrahim, just said an information that, there's a pipeline explosion in Abule Ado. I saw some casualties that were taken to the hospital while I was coming here, but while I was checking situation on ground, I didn't see anything. Most people have been evacuated away from this point.
In the situation where you have a pipeline closely said earlier that we need to dig in to find this place ought to have been cordoned off away.
Okodia Zarama
house just make like the house won't go down. We're surprised. We fear. We don't know where to run go. Now the thing will they happen. This one will happen. Not be only first time we don't happen. It don't they happen. We they fear. We don't know what in the wrong go for underground.
It appeared that the whole house began to shake. Where I was staying, it began to shake right from the ground. You see, it started 2010 and
quarantine Liberians and now
this down. But let's get on now to what is happening here in today. Honestly, believe me, this person saw it is Obasanjo. At the time he was tearing his party card, I was very ashamed. He didn't notice that he was tearing himself.
How long will you keep on complaining?
We keep you informed, thrilled, and inspired. I need to select. I like every kind of woman, but man, light skin. We are your premium talk, news, and sports radio. Today 95.1 FM. Don't touch that down.
Right. We've got to go. It's 11:30.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that
we have been pushed to the wall.
The hustle.
All right, thank you for staying tuned. Right about now, the time is 8 minutes into the hour of 2, and it's time to continue the conversation as we talk for the emancipation of our society and what are we and the ills that are that's where we will be anchoring. Besieged the National Assembly complex. And at the time, they said he wasn't, there was certain, the police were accused of several things and they denied and said it wasn't our men. Mm-hmm. Now, the general conversation during the election, when the army was fingered for, certain electoral irregularities, the army came out and said they weren't our men, and they made reference to the previous year, and that was 2018, towards October, November, when certain military but yeah, the customs, what we did was to help the security. The debate was, should the army be involved in the internal runnings of the country? Should the army be involved in the internal affairs of the country? Because according to the constitution, the army is to protect the external sovereignty, or would I say should be very much about the external security of Nigeria. But once again, welcome to today's hustle. We are complete in the studio. I've got Bolu Ajayi, Wealth Wilson, and of course yours truly, your humble Canada in the studio. I did like intimidated voters during won the elections with, was it 40 million votes? Was it 50 million votes? But you know the million votes, the million votes. What do you make of this? What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, I do expect that maybe Femi Adesina Gabashe, who will come out by tomorrow and say that, I mean, what is the problem with international bodies, infiltrating, right? I do expect that. And somehow the DSS have also, denied this particular allegation. Shame that till date, we're still talking about having security operatives.
Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I was going to say the fact that we have security agencies meddle in our elections should be majorly the fault of our politicians. Majorly the fault of the same leaders who say they shouldn't meddle in elections. Because if you look at no, to be quite honest, when I saw the report, I was surprised at first. Not too surprised.
But you were just going to talk about
buying as well.
You were just going to talk about our politicians enabling the security agencies.
But they do that.
So that means you agree with the report.
No. I'm not saying in this particular election, Kalada. I'm saying they do that. We all know that they do.
Okay, so
in
what particular election are you talking about now?
Every election that we've had in the country.
So 2019 election is amongst that.
Inclusive, all elections we've had in the country. We've had politicians at different stages, different levels.
So that would mean, I'm trying to rope you in, yes. So that would mean the report is true. That there was certain influences from the security agencies in the 2019 election.
Well, this is not the first time we've had these allegations. This time around, it's just coming from the United States government. We've had other people who say, yes, army men came, this came, that came. But this is also an allegation as well. The DSS can come out to deny this. The president might come out tomorrow, like she said. Gabashew or Femi Adesina might come out to deny it's an allegation as well. Same way other people have made allegations that the army and other security operatives meddled in the elections. But we both know that to some extent, politicians try to influence or use. I would think that to some extent politicians
you don't know this life. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Like politicians, would try to influence security operatives in their favor to do certain things for them. It might not exactly be snatching of ballot boxes and others, but it could be just voters intimidation, and there's several things you could do.
Okay, this is my own thought. International organizations
during the elections,
like I said,
right?
Mind your business. Listen. You've not heard what I have to say.
All right, go on then.
Now, can I talk now?
Okay, yeah.
Do I have the permission to talk now? All right.
Can you please go on already?
All right. So, international organizations, mind your business, because number one, it's taking too long a time to bring out this report, in my opinion. Number two, this report is just going to be another report without any results. It's just a report that is going to be a report. It's going to be there on the white paper, yielding no results.
But these are just observers. You don't. What do you expect them to do?
And that is why I say keep your report to yourself. Mind your business.
The thing
is,
the issue with coming too late. The issue with coming too late. I mean, before now, we've had other observers talk about their experiences in the last elections and maybe some other elections. So the issue of timing is not so much of a problem with me. Maybe this is the time they've been able to compile and come to a logical conclusion.
I kind of think that they want Nigeria to be the French colony where the French government went as observers in the election and could categorically see that there was a lot of corruption, had electoral violence after the results were announced. A lot of people died. My point being, mind your business. If no results will come out from your observation, I'll give you an instance. Now, when you look at what is happening in what they call these countries now, the some of these Arab nations like Iraq, the other ones. When America goes to observe elections there, the results are usually, following the observation. They make sure that there is no electoral irregularities
and make
and
sure that
the observance, the
observers or the government of that
America.
country.
I'm talking about America now. You see them.
Okay,
I'm talking about America now. Yeah,
elections in America or in other countries where America goes to observe.
Yeah, where they go to observe. I'm talking about in certain countries.
So
like
you're saying
Iraq,
in those countries,
like
America,
Iraq. I've given you an example, like Iraq.
Like Iraq. So America makes sure that Iraq has free and fair elections.
Yeah,
and not the Iraqi government.
I said yes. I'm telling you.
Is Iraq also
Iraq is not actually a warring country, so to say. America was also very instrumental in the deposing of Saddam's the president at the time, and I'm saying there's something.
Ultimately, it falls back to the Nigerian government to ensure that we have free and fair elections. That's why they are observers. They can't do so much.
That is why their observation is not needed.
See, the sovereignty of the nation already doesn't give them that entitlement or doesn't give them that disposition to come in and, influence our elections. Now, their observation is to chastise, right? Make the leadership or the government of the day understand what goes on during and after election. Now, this chastising now probably leaves them with the choice to change or to continue, but that doesn't stop them from reporting whatever has been observed.
Let me give you another example. Venezuela, where we had Guaido. Is it Guaido that is his name? Yeah, Guaido come out and say that he was the constitutionally recognized president. So I'm saying yet again. The United States sanction,
like the United Nations.
Did the United States sanction Iran?
Because Iran was trying to build nuclear weapons.
My point, did they sanction?
Not because...
Did they sanction? Did they sanction China?
Yes.
Were they attempting to sanction Russia? I'm saying that if they want to resort...
In any of the cases you mentioned, was it as a result of unfair elections?
My point is there were different reasons. China, it was economic trade. Iran, it was nuclear weapons. Russia, it was meddling in their elections. My point being different reasons. And if
most of the reasons, I'm sorry, but most of the reasons would affect America globally on an international scale. But how would our elections, which was done internally, affect them?
Exactly my point. So why come observe? Exactly. If it would not hold water, then there is no need for it. That's all I'm saying.
By hold water, what do you mean?
See, I went to observe the elections.
Okay.
And I gave a report on the elections. And I kept on talking about it for days to ensure that the right thing is being done. That is me playing the part in my own little way.
So you feel reporting as you have reported is not, playing a part in their own little way?
See, intimidated these people. And you have caused, you have used the security agencies to intimidate and harass and influence the elections. And this is against the Human Rights Convention or Human Rights Treaty. And so we are going to sanction you for that. As simple as that. And that's what I'm saying.
But they were observers. They were not called to ensure that we have free and fair elections. They observed, they give their reports. And why is this an argument?
To think that, they cannot addle with our elections because, first of all, there's no political unrest in this part of the world. So you don't expect that they're coming to do anything. They expect that there is a sovereign government that would have the rights and the fundamental rights of the people in mind, right? So apparently that rules out their intervention.
I have not said they should come and pick who becomes president.
No, I get what you're saying. I have
not said they should come and influence the elections. But if you're observing, your observation should yield results.
But the EU observed. Why aren't you talking about the EU's
against it? And I'm saying mind your business. Really. Because I do not understand why
so like do you listen.
I don't if you listen to me, I do not have a problem with observation.
Okay.
But I'm saying, what is the need of the observation if it will not change the narrative for 99? And as a matter of fact, the narrative has not changed. We still don't even have
their fault.
Like I said, it's not. I've not said it's their fault, by the way, but I've said an observation if there is not going to be any results.
I mean, they're just observing. They're doing their job.
Oh my God.
No, Kalada, I think I get your point, but then you also have to get Bolu's point. The idea of observing any election is to give feedback, reports as to how the elections were carried out.
Feedback for
what went
feedback
on.
for what reason?
and from an international perspective of what had gone on in their this year. Here is this. When you finished observing the election and you came here to talk about this on radio, are you telling people something they already know?
But you see, when I was talking about it on radio, I was putting fire under the chairs of the people in power.
So you don't feel sending in a letter from an international body to Nigeria as a country or to the DSS, it's not putting fire under their chairs.
What fire? I mean,
integrity of the country's election. So apparently, it puts fire under the federal government.
We're talking about the
DSS right now, right? So you see, all of that put together is contribution.
And I agree
they
with
don't
you.
necessarily
I agree with you on that one. But like I said, and like you said when we started the show, if Femi Adesina or a Gabashewu comes on air and says, you know what, don't mind the United States, and before you know, oops, it goes off.
No, it doesn't go off.
It
doesn't rule out the fact that somebody had alleged that there was infiltration during the election, whether or not you debunk it.
So let's do it like this now. Let's play it like it's played in Iran, for example. Now, let's say there's a sanction and they say, you know what, we wouldn't do trade with this government until the government decides to get it right. Do you agree with me that the narrative in our electoral system will change? True or false? Do you agree with me?
Yes, it will.
So that is what I've been saying. So there is no need for an observation if it's not going to yield the results. That's what I'm saying.
Now, I feel I get what you're saying. But then coming to sanction Nigeria as another sovereign nation, void of the EU, void of the UN or whatever other institution, right, that embodies every other country, is not even right in the first place.
Why?
Because it gives them undue authority.
Now, sanction, for example, I am America, you're Nigeria, and I say, I'm not going to do business with you. That is me
America as a country.
That's what I'm saying. That is me sanctioning you.
Hold on.
Oh,
America should not do. Let's take for instance. Let's take for instance. America says, they would do business with Nigeria, and then you think about it because of elections, right? These same countries would need economic help from each other. Take for example, buying in crude, which will be beneficial to America. So you think America would leave its economy to suffer because your country?
Let me ask you a question now. China, right? China. America sanctions.
We haven't really talked about the report. We're just again whether
because the report is something we already know. It's something we already know. Intimidation, harassment, influencing.
It talks about vote buying as well. It
wasn't that is all of it. That is all of it. That is influencing. Influencing the election. So that's what we already know. But I'm saying America should mind its business or mind the business. Now let's go to China and that's sanctioning. But you
but the thing is this, I was trying to point out something to you. Most of these countries that you're mentioning sanction, they did things that affected America directly. That affected them directly.
Sorry, what did Iran do that affected America directly? Sorry.
Nuclear weapons. Trying to
they were trying to build nuclear weapons. How did it affect America directly? It affected the world. America opted out of the UN treaty and sanctioned Iran all by itself. And in case you do not know, when an election doesn't go well in a country, it is against America as well. That's exactly my point.
But in these cases, what I'm trying to point out to you is the US saw whatever these countries were doing as threats to them, right?
That is
creating nuclear weapon. That was the threat to the US.
And that is what I've been trying to make you understand. That every time the United States actually backs up actions to words, it's because of selfish interest. Now they know that they are not going to gain anything from these elections, and that is why I have asked them also, because you're not going to gain anything, mind your business. But
don't you think that after all of these reports, now whether it's from the US, the EU, or whether it's your report, Canada's report, don't you think that the onus falls back on the government of the day or the Nigerian government and its citizens to, try to reform the electoral system? Is this the fault of the observers? I mean, like the way I'm seeing it.
Let me shock you now.
Okay.
There was a time when the National Assembly banned second-hand goods like Bendan, Okrika clothes, and all. The US gave a warning. Nigeria. But this is the US. We're looking at.
I mean, you are trying to separate this report and act as if this is just the US and we should not mind it. But we've had several other reports. You had your report on the elections, right? What were your reports on the elections?
And I still keep my report.
Did the government do anything concerning your report? Did you sanction the government?
See, that's where you don't get it. That's
I mean,
where you
it's
don't
your
get
report.
it. I
You gave
do
a
not
report.
listen. I do saying it was too close to the stations, but then again, the numbers to call in are 01933.
Hello, Eto calling from Rumaolu.
Eto from Rumaolu, welcome.
I want to ask, why did America bring this particular issue now? What happened during the? Is it not the same America call out that and get the report that the election was okay? Why?
No. How can
you
you talk
can't.
about really now?
No, you can't.
Anyways, thank you, Eto, for calling in. 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, lady in the house.
Yeah, let's hear your opinion.
Nothing like that. And I want to say that this report, let me not say that it's useless, but it's of no use to us, because if we had brought if they had brought it earlier when we were filing, they were filing matters in the court. At least that people would have incorporated it in his matter.
Yes.
And
Did you not
won.
see other reports from other observers earlier in the year or earlier that reported on the elections?
You know that everything in America would always carry weight than other things. But I want to tell you that, you see, while it is not even 100% proof that it was Nigerian military that was doing that. Some people were
2017.
Yeah, I think so. That is the National Assembly rerun. So the governor was shouting that. The governor of Rivers State was shouting that some parties were, training some boys, buying camouflage. This thing. At the end of the day, on the day of the election, there was this Precious working with this Love FM that were caught with some boys. He carried a chunk of money. It was everywhere now on the papers. I have the paper. So at the end of the day, the politicians will tell you something and do another thing. You don't even know whether the soldiers they are talking are authentic soldiers. That is my concern.
All right, then.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Canada man.
Hello, and welcome.
Greetings. I don't understand. It's from the way you guys are talking. It's from the way you are talking. You believe that the report the U.S. has given is right.
No.
That's how you people are sounding.
I say. Maybe it's right. Maybe because I don't know.
You will give your opinion and allow from the way you people are talking. If the report is right, and therefore there should have been sanctions. There should have been this. What makes you feel that the report is right?
Listen, I know your tricks. I mean, I mentioned before I started commenting that I am not going to give my opinion on this. I was going to be neutral about it, so I'm rather indifferent about whether the report is right or not on the show. But I am more particular about what effects are the reports of observers, from the international scene.
Now, that report is completely, we know the politics between APC and the U.S. government. We know the politics. Now, leave that aside. 119,973 polling units. You understand? How could they have covered all of that? What was used in the presidential election? That's the number of people. How were they able to cover all of that? How many are there? And then you come and give report like Canada. I remember I was monitoring it from your studio where it was the military that saved you. It was the military who told you back and said
let's get it. I was not in any position where I needed saving. Yes, I was given the right information by the military, but that does not mean the military saved me. Please, let's get things.
I said the military turned you back.
All right then.
You wanted to get,
but that does not. What I'm trying to tell you, that does not absolve the military from being.
Let us assume the military now the voters were intimidated. PDP won in Adamawa, APCL state, Bochi, APCL state, Oyo, APCL state. Do you know how many places PDP won in the gubernatorial governorship election? How were they, the military was intimidating them? The ruling party truly was using the military.
But maybe, see, I have not said the military intimidated. Is it in where the women came out?
In other places, it's here in Bayelsa. No, wait.
Okay.
I am saying there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 95.1 FM. What's your name and where you calling from?
Canada. Good afternoon.
Mascot, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mascot.
Thank you so much. Hello and happy afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Honestly, Canada, the U.S. will not keep that report to itself. That report, you remember, one point said that they will be referring to our president as Major General. Already it has nothing to do, but it has as well something to do. Even if that report has no legal, in the eyes of the international community, it has been known that the 2019 election is one that is riddled, that is pervaded with brigandage, with gangsterism, with the open display of impunity, with the brazenness, with the open occupation of the military. Remember what happened here. You and I were here in River State. News everywhere. This one is not that is hidden. When the army come out openly to interrupt the collection process, they even were arresting some INEC. You don't believe the U.S. report. And electoral process.
That and their visit to state capital use is this report.
Yeah, I'm Quincy. I'm calling you people for mine. Since 1999 up to date, till 2015 when I made
after the election, those kind of these things, the report, but you know, Nigeria.